I really hope that I can get this to make sense. Because sampling is such a trial and error type of thing. And I actually did it and I want to recreate it, but I may not really recreate what I did 2 days ago. So anyways, I have chosen some songs off of the share drive. I'll be showing you where you can get them, but we're going to all do using these to kind of get our feet wet. So I have a song that has a really cool drum intro. I'm just going to grab the drums from it. So one of the key things in editing audio is 1, work in slip mode so you can be accurate. And 2, I'm turning on this off and on this button, which, as I hover over it, is called tab to transients. And a transient is any spike in amplitude or volume that you see in a waveform. And what tab to transients allows you to do is use the tab key on your keyboard to advance to the next significant transient. Now notice here that got picked up as a transient because it is one. It may not be what we're looking for, so you still need to kind of pay attention. And sometimes Pro Tools doesn't pick up the transient that you're hoping to get to, so it can be very helpful, but you still need to pay attention to what you're doing. So the next other thing that's so important with sampling is being able to count a measure and always let your fourth beat finish. If you're trying to cut up loops, not everything's going to be a loop, and we're going to try and do a couple different things. So I'm going to just start doing this thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so we got that ba-boom. I don't want to start on ba-boom. I want to start on boom and end there. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, cut. All right, remember that cutting is Command E, and for this one, it was very, very easy for me to get a one measure loop in the drums. Okay, now, what as a process to get these out of Pro Tools so that you can access Kontakt is you're going to highlight with your grabber, come over to this triangle here, go down to export clips as files. Remember, these are clips. They are not files yet. And you want the settings to be wave, interleaved, 24, and 48 if your session is set to 48, 44 if it's set to 44, but either will work in either instance. Okay, so hit choose because right now this is the hierarchy. It's going to your audio files folder, and I think it is much, much easier to work in an organized way where you have, say, a folder, samplees, called samples. So I hit new folder, and if I hit create and open, that becomes my destination, and hit export. So now I'm going to have a one measure drum loop in that samples folder when I'm ready to start making stuff happen with Kontakt. So I'm going to go through some of these and hopefully I'll remember what I did. Okay, so here, I don't want the don't, but I want ding. So I'm going to cut there. And then I'm going to cut, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, where it changes chords. And I'm using tab to transient and it's working. I want one, two, three, four. I want those separately. Not gonna lie, that sounds really cool, and I didn't do that. that as another measure. All right, so wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, another 2 measures. Okay, so this one, if you double click with your grabber, you're able to rename these, something like 81, because it will get confusing later. 82, wait, why am I calling it 80 anyways? I don't remember. I think I meant AB. And this is actually the loop, because I'm very interested in that one. And you can actually highlight and export these separately. I mean, together. It's still going to samples. If I hit export, I'm good. Let's see what this one is. I think I don't use that. I didn't end up using that one. No, it was this one that I didn't end up using, because this one's in 3/4. So again, I'm just hitting tab to transients, hoping that this is going to get where I want it to go. And it's working so far. This is another one I did not use. Which is just intriguing me right now. I should rename this ABC Guitar Solo Loop. I'm not going to use that. I think I'm just going to take this. All right, let me just grab that. So I'm going to end up totally breaking my rule here, but hopefully we can start to see. All right, let's listen to this in a loop. So it's a great loop. It works. This one. Yes. Okay, so this one doesn't have drums, so it's kind of cool. I'm going to put that back together to show you something else. All right, so here's an example. So I think I want to use this. 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. All right, right where it goes to that change, but tab to transients isn't working in this instance. So I need to zoom in quite a bit, and this gives me the opportunity to talk about the zero crossing. When you zoom in like this, you will see your peaks and troughs of your waveforms. You want to cut in between or where the waveform is crossing the x-axis. It's called the zero crossing. That will help to eliminate any potential clicks and pops to your edits. 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4. All right, so we definitely want this. And I'm just going to call this loop. Okay, and then I'm going to export it. And did I export? I did, I think. Okay, so let's get into Kontakt and go to Files and head over to your desktop and find the session that you've made, sample practice. I have some stuff in Samplease. Okay, so some of them are what I did the other day or last night. Okay, so I'm going to drag, actually, I'm going to come back here. No, not that one. This one. I'm going to drag this. Okay, so a crazy mixed up world. This one, pretty straightforward. It's a measure, I think. So I'm going, let me listen to it again. Actually open it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. 2 measures. So I'm going to open up my wave editor, sync and slice, Time Machine Pro. I'm going to put in, actually, I'm changing my mind already. I'm going to go back and get my drum beat first. I'm going to change my order. I very much recommend and think it'll be useful to start with drums. So I'm going to go in here, Wave Editor, Sync and Slice, Time Machine Pro, boom. All right, so we have 2 things that we can put in. First, our drums. Now, what tempo am I working at? I don't even remember. So I'm at 83. If I change this to 85, this should now be playing faster. No, because it's, oh, okay, I have something else in here. So if I change this to 90, if I change to 100, all right, so I should be good. I'm going to go to 85. All right, now I'm going to go back into my MIDI editor and choose my next sample, which is a 2-measure sample. I have other stuff that is not muted. Be careful with that. All right, I'm going to make a few more stereo instrument tracks for the sake of keeping it moving and interesting. And so this is kind of like, this is the Sunny Stitt loop. And then I think this is going to be the sax solo. And do I have that? I didn't import it. I didn't export it this time around, but I have it over here. So I'm going to drag that in. Make this 3/3. Now, what's kind of cool is that when you have a keyboard connected, which I do, but I don't have a MIDI channel, and I don't have my input. you can play around with the sample and not just play it all the way through or draw it in, which I think is kind of hip. So I'm just going to kind of do this. All right, hit something. Why didn't it? Well, I'll show you what I meant to do anyways. Why didn't that record? All right, so notice that there's some timing issues. Okay, when we start doing our placements, we got to be in grid mode. This the second half of that line comes in early, and I don't really like the timing of it. So I'm going to do something pretty important that you might want to do in the future. I'm going to go to the wave editor. Actually, I'm going to go to the mapping editor first, and I'm going to keep everything on the root. I'm just going to move this over so I change the root of that particular sample. I'm going to come and hit Control-click where I can copy or duplicate. I found, for me, if I just duplicate it, it's sitting on top. And if I grab it, there I have my duplicate. So I have on C1 and C2 the same exact sample. Now if I go to the wave editor, I click on this first one, and I go to the wave editor, I can bring the end. So if I click, I can see it go. But I want it to stop right there. Probably more importantly, I don't want the second half to trigger. And then I'm going to click on this one, and I'm going to make sure that it doesn't start until that same spot. And I'm going to have it snap to a zero crossing so that I don't get any unwanted clicks. All right, so now I need to move this to C1 because it's not triggering anything. And this gives me more control over when my stuff gets triggered. So I want it to trigger right on the beat. Okay, so I like that a lot more. All right, now for this one, I want to play with something that, and of course, this is not something that I would do. I'm trying to build a song, so maybe I make a 4-measure intro. And just for, for fun, and who knows what's happening here. Just to show you. And of course, we can do all kinds of cool stuff, like put in a delay. The fan on my computer is just rocking right now. All right, so there's all kinds of stuff you can do. Now, I want to experiment with this other sample that I randomly found this time along under samples. Okay, it's a really loud one, isn't it? Okay, I just want to see because it is intriguing to me. I'm going to steal this and see what it sounds like. Oh, but I need to go in. Don't forget, if I want this measure to kind of sit, I got to use Time Machine. All right, and really what I want to hear is if the drums will sit with it. Not gonna lie, I kind of dig it. All right, so let's see what the two, like if this works as like a chorus. I kind of doubt it, but all right, so this is another one of those times I would be really interested to get this to play, to cut it up and put it across my keyboard to get these hits here. So maybe I just do that for fun. I'll do it there. Actually, I really like this idea. I'm going to keep going. Put that over there. I can control click and duplicate. All right, I don't want these overlapping. And at the moment, I'm sticking on C, on the root. This one, though, I'm going to do this hit right here. So if I go to my keyboard, so you can kind of do cool stuff like that. I think it's cool anyways. So I can use that twice. Wait. Oh. All right, so this one's actually shorty. Oh, I have an idea. Let's see what this does. Boom, boom. Okay, so I'm going to actually cut this one, bring this over. That does not work. Okay, so it works, it doesn't. So what I want you all to have at the very least are the drum track, the Sunny Sit loop, and this saxophone on beat. So at least you have nailed this loop. So a couple things just to kind of review what we have been able to do. So we have a slick drum sample, simple, one measure. We've taken this kind of groove from the middle of the Stunny Stit record, and then the sax that we've broken up so that we can make sure that we have control over when those pieces are triggering. All right, you're going to bounce that out and submit it.